Hello and welcome to Bespoke Unit. I'm CP, and in this video I shall be reviewing the Camacho Connecticut Box Press. It's a beautiful May afternoon in Champagne country, France, and I thought what better time to review the Camacho Connecticut Box Press. I've been doing a lot of gardening this afternoon, so I'm getting a bit tired, so I thought I'd take a break, have a nice little coffee and a cigar. So I've been really looking forward to reviewing this particular cigar. Paul Anthony, a Bespoke Unit's founder, and we spoke to a few together. There's even a written review in the description below. And what's interesting about the box press is that it's very similar to the original Parejo from Camacho. Now, remember that Camacho, they have their bold everyday smokes, of which the Connecticut is one of the cigars in there, along with the Ecuador, the Corojo, and a number of others. The Camacho was the Connecticut was then released as a box press back in I think it was around January 2017, and it's more or less the same blend. Now, just looking at my notes here, so we're looking at a Connecticut wrapper, obviously. The binder is a Corojo, and then for the filler you have Generoso and Alemán Ligero, which is the same in both the Parejo, which is the normal Connecticut, and the box press, except this also features some American Broadleaf from Pennsylvania, which is meant to give it a more intense and more amplified creaminess compared to the first one. So it's quite an interesting one. Like I said, I've already smoked a few of these, but let's do a video review together. First things first is the look and feel. In terms of appearance, we're looking at something that's kind of on the matte side with a bit of a satin sheen with a cafe latte colour. In terms of aromas here, I'm getting some straw, I'm getting some I pointed out in the written review, some savoury, sayet, which is a kind of herb, which is this kind of fresh, it's not quite mint, but it's not quite thyme either. It's very aromatic, but it's not very discernible compared to these. It's quite unique and hard to describe. So it's very aromatic and very characteristically Connecticut wrapper and aromas. So let's look at the dry drawer, which is the next step. So I'm gonna, there we go, just as a precaution so I don't make a mess. And snip. Now this gives a very faint resistance. It's using Camacho's well-renowned booking technique, the power band. So it's not loose. It's not tight either. We're looking at sort of a very faint resistance here in the dry drawer. In terms of aromas, so we're still in the straw side of things. Looking at my notes here, I pointed out, yeah, some Brazil nuts. So you've got this kind of bitter touch to it, a bit like the skin on a Brazil nut, and some coffee cake, because we've got some cream in there, we've got some coffee, but it doesn't taste like coffee. It tastes like a cake because there's some yeastiness as well as a little bit of citrus in there, which is some grapefruit. So let's light this bad boy up and give it a try. So I'm in the first third here, and it starts off as a very mild, very aromatic cigar. We're opening with some of these straw notes, as was picked out in both the aroma of the wrapper as well as the dry drawer. We're also getting some citrusy notes, but not quite as overt as the grapefruit that's picked up in the dry drawer, as well as finally some herbs, specifically a little bit of thyme, tiny bit of sage, but mostly going back to that summer savoury which I picked out earlier. In terms of burn, well, it's a little bit uneven, but that's my fault. It's because I lit it, well, when you lit in a bright summer's day like this, you can't see the flame, so you're going to have a couple of mishaps. In terms of draw, it's still, it's not loose. I am getting some resistance here, so it's not like I'm sucking in air. but being the power band style from Camacho, I imagine that the draw and the burn is going to even out quite nicely once I get to the second third. So now well into the second third, I'm going to remove this band now. What I really like about the Camacho bands is they're so easy to remove. You have this nice little watermark of the Camacho Scorpion on the back, so really no stress there compared to a lot of cigars where they can be very difficult, like the if you go to BespokeUnit.com, you'll read our review, or Paul's review of the Avo 30th anniversary, which has got a band that's quite difficult to remove. This is the complete opposite. It's actually a very pleasant experience. So as you can see, I've actually been chopping down some bushes and trees back in the garden here, and although without, affecting the smoke, so I've been taking it quite easy. And we're down to the second third, and here in terms of notes, we're still on the straw, we're still on the herbs, these aromatic herbs such as that. So that was savoury, thyme and sage. In terms of other notes, well, there has been some development. So I actually liken this on the retrohale as well to cappuccino, whereas the original Camacho Connecticut is more on the cafe latte, and that you have the cream and you have the coffee. Here that there's more complexity to it. You have this kind of frothy creaminess as well as the bitterness of the coffee, which is quite enticing as well. It's very gourmand. And then you also have this kind of light milk chocolate note in the background there that is also very pleasant. So here we're looking at something overall. It's very tasty, very enticing, perfect for a sunny afternoon like this, great with a coffee, and let's just enjoy this a little bit more until we get to the final third. Right, so I'm down to the final third, as you can see. I'm a little bit out of breath, sorry, I've been cutting down some trees again. So we've had some evolution, and whilst it's more complex than the normal Connecticut from Camacho, it's not overly so. Nevertheless, we do have a story here, we do have an evolution. So we've kind of lost the straw, the herbs and the cappuccino, and now we've moved on to something which is more like toasted brioche. It's quite yeasty, it's kind of grilled, a bit smoky, a bit carbonated. So brioche is a sort of a sweet bread that Marie Antoinette was quite fond of and wanted her people to eat. It wasn't cake. And we also have some buttercream, so the coffee notes have kind of left us, and I've picked that out despite drinking some, and we're more onto this really thick, very dense creaminess that's remarkably sweet. So that's really where I'm at right now with the final third. Like I said, it's not overly complex, it's quite a casual smoke. It's something that would be great for, well, these conditions are just perfect for it, mid-afternoon, coffee, or maybe even a barbecue with the boys, and just chilling out. This isn't something that I'd necessarily reserve for a special occasion, although it'd be absolutely fine for that as well. This is really just your casual, bold everyday smoke, as Camacho says. In terms of presentation, if you look in the written review below, you'll see pictures of the boxes as well. You have the box of the normal Connecticut and the Parejo one and the box press, so you'll be able to see the differences there. And in terms of wrapper, as you saw earlier, it's very typically Camacho with the same shape, same size, quite big. It doesn't stick to the cigar, very easy to remove. Value for money. Now the box press specifically comes in several sizes. It comes in a Robusto, which is what I'm smoking, which is a 5x50. You have the Toro, which is a 6x50, and the Gordo, which is a 6x60. In terms of prices, you're looking at between $8 and $9 for the individual cigars. That's the recommended retail price when they're bought as a box of 20. So multiply that by 20. And I think that pretty much covers it. In terms of smoking time, this takes longer to smoke than the normal Camacho. yeah, we can talk about actually the difference between the box press and this one. So the normal Parejo is less complex, it smokes slightly hotter. Because this is a box press, because you don't have a perfect seal around your mouth, you do let some air in as well, so it makes for a generally cooler smoke, which means that it smokes for longer. The ash consistency, well, we have a nice silver steel ash here that isn't overly firm. In fact, it's actually quite loose and it drops off quite easily, around about an inch in length. And then when you get to when you talk about the draw is again a bit loose, not badly so. This is the power band method, which ensures you have a consistent draw throughout the smoke, and you have a very nice resistance, and it's well held together with no knots. So it's not a firm draw, it's kind of that sweet spot you have between firmness and looseness. Looking at my notes here, I think that just about covers it. Personally, this is a great smoke that I'd very much enjoy casually, like I said, and I hope you get a chance to try it yourselves. If you check in the description below, you'll find that we have a plethora of guides to cigars and to men's lifestyle. We've got Bespoke Unit, we also have our social networks, and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, comment if you have any questions, and smash that subscribe button. I'm CP, and take care.